Back to Dallas. Hey, Roger, the last time we saw our friend Terry, he was saying how loose the Buccaneers were down there on the field.
Well, I have a little, pregame sometimes can get a little deceiving, false chatter maybe, but now they've got their lumps. Now they've got to come back and they've got to relax or they're in big trouble.
Roger, the Cowboys seem to be in control. Are they of this game?
I think they are, Brent. Tampa Bay needed some points out of the one drive they had. They got the call on Williams and lost all the yardage, got nothing out of that drive. They've had poor field position the whole game, but the line of scrimmage has been controlled by Dallas. On defense, they're harassing Williams, and on offense, really, Tampa Bay can't do very much to get to Danny White. And you've got to pressure Danny White if you can do any good against Dallas.
Roger, you know, a very big favorite of Irv Cross is number 72 of the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll tell you, Irv, the big fella had him a great first half, didn't he?
Well, he sure did, Brent. You know, Too Tall told me he thought that Charlie Hanna was a little top-heavy and he could power rush him. It simply means he runs right through him, gets his weight going one way, and then throws him aside. Now, there are a couple of things Tampa Bay can do to adjust to that. Obviously, they want to help Hanna, but if they double-team Too Tall, they're going to have a problem with John Dutton, Harvey Martin, and Randy White.
You know, we're all going to get on one of those big old jets and go out to San Francisco after this one's over. It's been raining hard out there this week. Pat Summerall and John Madden will be calling all the action of the 49ers and the New York Giants. Let's go out to San Francisco now in Candlestick Park for a report from Pat. Pat?
Brent, it's cold and empty and windy and wet right now at Candlestick Park. The tarpon has been on the field all week long. It's been raining all week long in San Francisco. Our weather forecast is for a 100% chance of rain tonight, 100% chance today, as a matter of fact, 40 tonight, and 70 tomorrow. So who knows what this field is going to be like. Notoriously, the field at Candlestick Park has not been one of the best. Working with me, as you said, is John Madden. And John, I mentioned the field had been covered, but sometimes that can be misleading too.
Well, sometimes, you know, you look at a tarp on a field and you think underneath it'll all be dry, right? Not always, Pat. Sometimes you look under the field as you pull the tarp back, and you look, I'm getting a little help here, and you look and it's just as wet underneath as it is on top. It's going to be a wet and heavy field tomorrow.
With the field being questionable like this, John, footwear, I suppose, would be a very important factor.
Well, it's very important. You know, the Giants are used to a shoe like this. It's an artificial turf shoe, and of course they couldn't use that on this heavy turf. They have to use a cleated shoe, and the longer the cleat, the better.
With the field like this, and you say it's going to be wet, which team do you think might benefit most?
Maybe the 49ers. I think that the team that passes will benefit the most because it's very tough to cover because the defense has to react. The offense knows where it's going. The other thing it does, it tends to slow down the pass rush.
There'll be two strange names in this game tomorrow, at least as far as playoffs are concerned. The Giants and the 49ers. Remember, the NFL today starts at 4:30 Eastern time. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll kick it off. And it'll be on CBS, the same network that's going to bring you the Super Bowl. Now back to Dallas and Brent Musburger.
Pat, thank you so much. Take along your rain gear out there. But, you know, seeing John Madden reminds me that when he was the head coach of the Raiders, one of his assistants was John Robinson before he became the head coach at USC. And let me repeat now that Robinson appears to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. All the Sullivan family and Robinson have to agree on right now is money. Also, the Chicago Bears. They have asked and received permission from the Dallas Cowboys to talk to assistant coach Mike Ditka. He wants the job. He will fly to Chicago to talk to George Halas right after the playoffs. Ray Malavasi is back. Don Klosterman's got a couple of number ones. Maybe he can put the Rams back on the road next year. And the NFL today will continue with Roger and Terry taking a look at highlights after these messages from your local stations. At halftime, the Cowboys leading the Buccaneers 10-0. And Terry, let's start out with one of Dennis Thurman's 2 interceptions. Is Doug Williams putting the ball up for grabs, or is it just good defense?
I think the interceptions start with good pass rush. They got it. Martin on the long one when Thurman made the second interception was just a great pass rush by him, forced him out of the pocket. He threw the ball, an ill-advised throw, and here it is right here. He makes the interception, makes a good run back. He's got to settle down and not make these mistakes. 3 of the big plays in the first half were made by the Tampa Bay offense with the grounding and the 2 interceptions. You can't have that against the Cowboys if you want any success at all.
Now, the Cowboys' touchdown, Roger, was a pass, of course, from White to Hill. A lot of talented receivers on the Cowboys team. Is it a problem for a quarterback?
Well, they spread the ball out a lot. Danny throws a lot of different receivers. They don't have receivers up there at the top of the league. They're pretty well in the middle of the pack, but a lot of them catch the football. And They also go for the ball. They're not intimidated. Tampa Bay can intimidate you and hit you after you catch the ball. But Dallas has the ability with Pearson and Hill and Butch Johnson. They'll go for the ball even though they're going to get hit. And here's Tony Hill catch the ball. He knows he's going to get whacked by Brown, but he still catches the ball. Excellent play.
Now, you have said that there's no pressure on Danny, and that was your observation prior to the game. You weren't sure that the Buccaneers would get at him.
Now, Danny is a very mobile quarterback. When you have 3 men coming and you can step aside, there's just a lot of room, there's a lot of extra time, and they're just not getting to Danny White. And the secondary is actually doing a pretty decent job for Tampa Bay, considering the time that White has.
Now, the Buccaneers go on the move, and they might have got at least a field goal and perhaps a touchdown, except for that big intentional grounding penalty. Now, when a quarterback is in trouble back there, what's got to go through his mind?
What he wants to do is get rid of the ball. That's the first thing. But what happened, Doug got his hands, and he knew it was, it was a good call. He threw the ball in the ground. Should have gotten rid of the ball a lot sooner. All right, here you see him. He's dropping back. Now, he's running out of the pocket here, and he doesn't need to do this. All right, now he's trapped. There's 2 tall on him. And now he just throws the ball in the ground. There's nobody there. They had a good drive going, too, starting from the 21. This was a big play.
That was the best drive that Tampa had, and they got nothing out of that drive.
Now, can a quarterback sometimes get away with intentional grounding? Both of you have been under the gun, and when you're going down to avoid the big loss, what can you do so the officials don't call that?
Well, it's difficult. Officials have that decision to make, and if you're down in the grasp and you're going to be trapped, you get rid of the ball. The new rule, they're going to call it. It's not if there's even a receiver's in the area. As long as that lineman's got a hold of you, they're going to call it.
Can they come back in the second half?
I think they can. They're only 10 points down now, Brent, and everybody is talking about a runaway on the Cowboys. I think they got to play good football. They've got to move their ball offensively. They do that, they can come back.
Okay. Well, we're going to be on the road after this game, going to San Francisco, but that's just the beginning for CBS Sports. What a year we've got planned as we go on the road in '82.
Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Sings pretty good, Rod. We're going to take it with you.
The season he had,
Let's go back up to the booth now. Ben Scully and Hank Stram. Benny?
Okay, Hank. We've been listening to quarterbacks talk about the first half. Roger and Terry talking about what quarterbacks live and die with. What about the coach? Put yourself in John McKay's shoes. What would you be talking about at halftime?
I think you have to hang your hat, Ben, on the fact, as far as selling your squad, on the fact that really there's nothing really wrong with what's happened, except that we haven't had a chance to move the ball because of bad field position. You have to sell your squad on the fact that they have to know that that's what they have to do. They have to do a better job, especially on 1st and 10 in the second half, plus the fact that they have to do something and make some adjustments as far as being able to block Too Tall Jones and Harvey Martin. How do you do that? I think he must do it by moving the pocket a little bit, blocking down the tight end on the defensive end, but you've got to make something happen to sell your squad on the fact that you can do something about what has happened really in the first half.
You probably have to do a little bit of a psych job on Doug Williams. He has not only completed only 3 out of 13 in the first half, but he has been intercepted twice by Dennis Thurman. He has been mugged a couple of times by the Dallas line. He's been caught twice intentionally grounding the ball. He needs a little lifting.
That's not his fault. I think you have to realize that really what's happened with him, he hasn't had a chance to step up into the pocket. He hasn't had time to throw the ball. Really, the team that's done a poor job offensively really is Dallas, because they've had many opportunities and haven't done a good job of getting points on the scoreboard.
We'll get to the start of the second half right after this message. Bill Caprice, who was originally drafted by Houston this year and picked up as a free agent by Tampa Bay, kicking deep, and it'll be James Jones in the end zone, and he decides not to run it out. So Dallas will start off the second half in possession, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. And the Cowboys leading handily 10-0. You can see the numbers so far. The turnovers, 2 pivotal ones, the interception by Dennis Thurman.
And really, everything is very, very even, considering the fact that Dallas has really dominated the game because they've had more of an opportunity to do something offensively than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa's still very much in this game. There's a lot of time left for them to do something.
Springs and Dorsett behind White, with Pearson wide left and a slot left. And here goes Dorsett inside Cooper's block, and they got out across the 25-yard line. Jim Cooper, number 61, throwing the block. And, of course, former Cowboy Dave Stalls, he and Cooper were very close buddies. And and they go head-to-head today. Part of the fortunes of professional football.
You know, Dallas is not a very, I don't think they're recognized as a very patient team. They're a big play team. They don't like to travel very slowly, but they have to against this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. They just got to stick it at them and run right at that defense, and especially at the linebackers, and make something happen up front.
2nd and 5 from the 25. And Danny White going to Cosby, who's tackled at the 30-yard line. Well, very close to the first down. If they spot it at the 30, he'll pick it up. And he did. Richard Wood there to finally make the stop.
Here goes back into the pocket. Protection is good. The difference in the game so far, he's had all the time in the world to throw the ball, and Williams has had no time whatsoever. 84 Doug Cosby making the catch on the play.
And the Cowboys pick up the first down at the 30-yard line. Just the start of the 3rd quarter. Dallas leading 10-0. Pearson coming left. Saldi and Dupre on the right side. White going to Springs, and Springs at the 35 goes down underneath a hit by Stalls, who threw a block at him, and Springs kept on going out to about the 37-yard line. So pick up at 7, where it'll be 2nd and almost 3.
Neil Colsey again did a good job of coming up from the strong safety position and forcing the play inside. But in spite of that, why Dorsett made good yardage on the play. But here again, they have to throw the ball short. They must run at the defense and just be patient and move the ball and get first down.
So 2nd and 3 from the Cowboy 37. And it'll be Springs again with a good block by Dorsett on Hugh Green. And finally going out of bounds is Springs at the 42. Tony Dorsett threw a good block at Hugh Green. Just cut his legs right out from under him.
Yes, that's the 2nd or 3rd time he's done that. Talking about Tony Dorsett, number 33, blocking number 53, the great rookie linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 53.
And as we mentioned earlier, Hugh Green went to Pittsburgh because Tony Dorsett personally recruited him. And watch Dorsett doing a little recruiting.
Watch, he's got an inside, see, he's taking an inside force, pushing on the play. Dorsett gets outside leverage and blocks him with a good shoulder block and knocks him down on the play.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And White going to the left side, in and out of the hands of Tony Hill. Hugh Green was right there with him. You know, Tony Hill has been involved in at least one 20-yard pass play in each of the Cowboys' last 11 games. And in 8 of those games, he's been involved in at least one 30-yarder. So you're waiting for an explosive play with Hill.
I'm going to tell you another thing, Ben. The Cowboys have dropped some balls in front of the defensive backs of the game so far. And they probably will continue to do so, because what happens is they know as soon as they make the catch, they're expecting to get hit by the Tampa Bay defensive backs, and sometimes the concentration isn't like it should be. They're concerned about getting hit, and they drop the football, and I think that's what happened on the last play.
2nd and 10 on the Dallas 42. White on a play-action fake to Dorsett. Now throws to Dorsett, and what a screen in front of him. And there he goes to the 35 to the 33-yard line. Mike Washington on the top, Norris Thomas at the bottom. First down, Dallas, and Dorsett hit the road.
At that time, Ben, they got him in a safety blitz and an outside blitz. Watch it. Dorsett faking in the middle, a middle screen. Beautiful blocking up front. Tom Rafferty, number 64, is out front in good shape, along with Herb Scott and Peterson. But Dorsett does a great job of running on the play and picks up a big gain.
1st and 10 on the Tampa Bay 33-yard line. Second man, Tony Dorsett got away from Andy Hawkins, and he gets outside to the 20, 15, and finally goes out of bounds. Norris Thomas and Cedric Brown knock him down at the 7-yard line.
Another misdirection play, another counter play. Taking inside, taking a step, going back, watching. Watch Dorsett, number 33, goes to the left. Watch the linebackers move with him. Hawkins, number 59, had a chance to make the tackle, missed the tackle. Dorsett makes a lot of people miss tackles. Number 41, Thomas, is in hot pursuit and is finally helped by Cedric Brown, number 34, and they finally knock him out of bounds at about the 7th.
11 carries for 53 yards for Dorsett. First and goal at the 7-yard line for Dallas, leading 10-0. And it'll be Dorsett. No, instead it's James Jones in there now. And Jones barreling through the 5. We haven't got any signal as to whether he made it or not. It looks like they're going to spot it just shy of the goal line. So 23 for 33, and it's 23 skidoo for James Jones.
They're doing a good job of making something happen up front. They're just coming right after them. And that's what you have to do against Tampa. You must be patient. You got to run the ball. That's what they did. Got it in there very, very close for the touchdown. James Jones, number 23, running on the play. It was a short trap with the left guard trapping on the play. The left guard being hurt, Scott, number 68.
Second and goal from the 1. Springs and Jones behind White. 3 tight ends. Salty in motion. Springs following Salty for the touchdown. That's the same play they used earlier for a big first down. As the tight end in motion crashes into the line, and Springs just follows in his wake.
Chuck Noll and his fine staff at Pittsburgh initiated that concept years ago with it coming back in motion and trapping on the inside. Most teams in the league are now using it, and Jay Salty, number 87, did a good job of trapping the defensive right tackle on the play. Touchdown. Springs going in for the 6 points.
So Rafael Septien, who is perfect, 40 for 40 during the regular year. He has a point and a field goal today. Charlie Ward is holding. It is 16-0 Dallas. The kick pumped it through. So thanks to a couple of big runs by Tony Dorsett, the Cowboys went from their own 20-yard line and punched it over, and they now have a commanding 17-0 lead in the third quarter. The Cowboys go 80 yards in 9 plays. Springs punching it over from 1 yard out, and there were 2 great runs by Tony Dorsett, one at the end of a screen pass and the other just on his own. And the Cowboys really asserting themselves now with 10:52 left in the third, leading 17-0. Rafael Septien kicking off at the 35-yard line will hold an Owens beat, and Owens looking up in the sunlight is going to bring it out of the end zone. To the 10, 15, to the 20, 25, to the 30, and takes a lick and goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So a nice return by James Owens. First and 10 at the 33. Tomorrow, and we understand it is pouring rain in San Francisco. It's been raining on and off all week. They also tell us it's a 100% chance of rain tomorrow, and it'll be a problem for both ball clubs, the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. 4:30 Eastern Time from Candlestick Park. So first and 10 on the Buccaneer 33, and they're down 17-0.
He's got a good situation with Owens on Waters here.
Well, he looked right. Now he gets the rush and throws low and incomplete, intended for Kevin House coming back. Everson Walls right there with him. And a lot of rush from Jones and Dutton as usual.
Yeah, James Owens that time was one-on-one on Waters. A good matchup. He tried to hit him on the outside, but he didn't have time to do anything. The rush has really been murder as far as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are concerned. A lot of people are going to blame Doug Williams for having a bad day, but he can't throw the ball if he doesn't have time, and he doesn't have the protection from the people up front.
Well, you know, the Cowboy defense under heavy criticism earlier this year, but they have really been superb in the last 5 games, averaging only 11 points per game. And they had the Bucs down 17-0 today. Second man, James Owens, trying to get outside. Randy White was chasing him, and he's brought down by Dennis Thurman at the 40-yard line and just across it to the 41. Yeah, that's a pickup of almost 8 yards. It's third and a long 2.
Yeah, Dallas really did a good job on first and 10 on that last drive. They had the ball on first and 10 5 times and picked up 4 or more on each occasion.
Well, Tampa Bay trying to come back now on a third down call for Doug Williams. And he has it caught, juggled, but Kevin House holds on to it at midfield, and they pick up the first down, and Everson Walls holds on to Kevin House. So Williams working the ball to midfield.
That's one of the few times in the game so far where Doug Williams has had a chance to get back into the pocket, step up, throw, follow through. and he had the occasion. He put the ball right on the money to Kevin House, and they got a first down. This is a very important drive for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So 1st and 10 at midfield. Theo Bell goes wide right. Radovich and Giles, 2 tight ends on the left side, and that's where Owens goes. Right into some white shirts. Randy White and Mike Hegman drop in for a loss. So despite loading up with 2 tight ends on the left side, Dallas came right through and at it.
There's never any mystery as to why you make yardage or why you do not. You have to do a job up front, blocking people, knocking people off the line of scrimmage, making something happen up front, controlling the line of scrimmage. They haven't done that so far in the game.
So it is 2nd and 12 on the Tampa Bay 48. On first down, look at the difference. It's better than 5 yards on first down for Dallas, a little more than 1 yard for Tampa Bay.
Throwing popcorn at the stone wall when you can't make more than a yard and a half on 1st and 10.
Williams in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Kevin House. And again, Everson Walls, the rookie who came up with 11 interceptions this year. He's quite a story.
And I can't understand, I've said it many times during the season, I can't understand on a day like this why he's wearing gloves. The ball's a little high, but he has no chance whatsoever. It didn't look like he saw it out in front well enough, and then it bounced off and falls incomplete.
It was a very foggy, rainy, miserable early morning, but it has turned into a beautiful day. It was 56 degrees and sunshine at the start of the game. So now it is 3rd and 12 from the Buccaneer 48. Wilder and Owens behind Williams, Bell and House, the wide receivers. Benny Barnes chasing Williams, who throws on the run. No good. Intended for Theo Bell. Everson Walls is there. The rookie from Grambling. And there's a flag on the play.
And there again, Benny's got to run for his life to get away from the pursuit of the inside people. Holding on the play. It'll be declined. And, of course, they'll have to kick the football.
Holding, number 68, offense, declined, 4th down.
George Yarno guilty of holding, and Larry Swider will be kicking from the Buccaneer 35-yard line. James Jones is standing back at the Cowboy 12. 8:24 left in the 3rd, 17-0 Dallas. That's quite a shot. The pressure on the snapper. Leonard got it away, and James Jones will watch that thing go into the end zone. So Swider kicks it in for the touchback, and Dallas will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. 8:17 left in the 3rd. It's all Dallas so far, 17-0. 8:17 left in the 3rd. It's all Dallas, and again, a tribute to the great Tom Landry.
Well, it's funny. You know, we were out there watching practice the other day, and I asked Tom specifically. I said, Tom, how do you feel about your squad, the attitude of the squad? He said, I really don't know. I really don't know. I asked John McKay the same question. He felt very good about the way they work. So really and truly, how can you ever tell?
You never can, except you do know that Landry is 17-12 in 29 previous. Here's Doug Crosby at the 20-yard line, so with all the maneuvering, he didn't really get anywhere. Hugh Green was right there to knock him out of bounds.
And what has to happen as far as Tampa is concerned, they must make some kind of a big play. They have to make something happen defensively. They have to force a fumble, get an intercepted pass, block a kick, do something to get back into this football game.
For John McKay, he has seen Doug Williams throw 4 for 17 with considerable heat on him all time for only 58 yards. Meanwhile, Danny White has only passed for 85 yards. He's 9 for 20. And the big runner, Dorsett, 11 carries for 53 yards. 2nd and 10 from the 20. White over the middle to Billy Joe Dupree, and he's taken down at the 20-yard line. Cecil Johnson finally brings him down. That's very close to the first down. In fact, they spotted across the line, and that means first down.
Boy, that time White did a good job of reading the play. A play-action fake. He looked to the left. It was double cover. He went right back. Hugh Green was dropping off into the area where he wanted to throw the ball initially. He saw Green in the area, came back to the tight end, coming across the middle, made the reception, and a big play again for the Dallas Cowboys.
John McKay, knowing he's in trouble, particularly here in Dallas, although would you believe in playoff games, the Cowboys have a better road record than they do at home. 10 from the 30-yard line. Springs gets across out to about 2 yards. Dave Logan put a bear hug on him at the 32. Cowboys in road playoff games have won 7 and lost 4. And at home, they're 8 and 5 going into this one.
Well, the name of the game is win, and that's exactly what they have done. Boy, what a super job they have done through the years consistently as a top-notch organization in the National Football League.
And of course, when you look at that footnote, the only thought is it doesn't make any difference how you get here as long as you get here. And that's the story for Tampa. 2nd and 7 at the 33. The motion is Pearson. White going quickly to Dorsett at the 35-yard line. He's boxed in and driven out of bounds. John Holt, number 21, with Richard Wood right there with him.
That time they blitzed the linebacker on the weak side meaning the area on the other side of the tight end. The back was wide open. He got it to him in good shape. And again, I hate to belabor the point, but that's the way you have to attack the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You must run patiently, and you must throw the ball patiently, because they dare you to throw the ball in front, and they're going to try to tackle you and scrape the ball loose. So far, they have not been able to do that against the Dallas Cowboys.
On a 3rd and 1 at the 40, Dupre, Cosby, and Saldi are all in there. 3 tight ends for Dallas. Dorsett and Springs behind White. In motion is Saldi, and they'll follow him, and Springs with daylight is out across the 45-yard line to the 46. Holt and Thomas, among others, along with Hugh Green. But it's a first down.
We've got Terry Bradshaw up in the box with us. He smiles when he sees that play because he's running an awful lot in Pittsburgh. Jay Saldi goes in motion to the left, double tight. They have 3 tight ends. Watch Saldi come in motion to the left side. Now it's just like a trapping guard. He looks to the inside, and look at the good block he makes. He buries the defensive man, and they make the necessary yardage for the first down.
James Jones is back in there now, giving Tony Dorsett a breather at the 45-yard line where it's 1st and 10. And quick to Springs, and he's across midfield into Buccaneer territory. And of course, the last time Dallas had the football, they went 80 yards for a touchdown to really assert themselves and take command, and that's exactly what they're trying to build up to do again.
You very, very rarely see the Cowboys use this kind of a patient approach. They're very impetuous. They like to do things in a big way, big plays, but they're doing a good job of doing what they have to do against this kind of a defensive structure.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 5 on the Buccaneer 49, and back in is Tony Dorsett. Dorsett has carried the ball 11 times for 53 yards. And he'll take it again inside Cooper's block, and this time he picks up maybe 2 yards. Norris Thomas came up to take Cooper's block early, and that forced the play, and they're able to get Dorsett after maybe a 1.5 yard to 2 yard pickup.
Norris Thomas, number 41, does a good job. That's his responsibility. He's got to come across there quickly, get penetration, force the play to the inside, and hope he gets pursuit from the inside. It happened that time, and he reduced the size of the gain. It's 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3 at the 47. Dallas started on their own 20 the last time they went 80. They're leading 17-0 with 4:35 left in the 3rd. The motion is Pearson. White under some heat, and down he goes. And the first man to get him is Leroy Selman, number 63. He was all over him. One of the few times that White has been hurried.
Selman has been hurt most of the time during the course of the year. He's healthy now, and boy, when he's healthy, he's tough to block. He has a great combination of size, speed, and quickness. Some defensive people have quickness but no speed. Others have speed and no quickness, but he has them both, and that's why he is such a great player.
6 years out of Oklahoma. Go on a 4th and 13. Danny White standing inside his own 30-yard line. John Holt and Theo Bell finally picked up, and White gets it away anyway. And Theo Bell making the reception at about the 34-yard line, but there are flags on the play. So we'll wait and see after that low snap.
It could be a lineman went down prematurely.
That's just what it is. Jerry Markwright, the referee. We have 3:51 left in the 3rd.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the kick. Offense declined. First down. Timeout.
So as you heard Jerry Markwright proclaim the timeout, the ball is on the Tampa Bay 34-yard line. Dallas leading 17-0. Had a touchdown pass from 9 yards to Tony Hill. Tampa Bay puts it in play just shy of their own 35-yard line. First and 10. They're down 17-0. Doug Williams trying to find the combination. House and Bell are on the left side. Owens, a wide receiver, on the right. So Wilder all alone. Over the middle behind Giles and picked off by Michael Downs. And Downs is across the 35-yard line. The intended receiver, Jimmy Giles, and the pass was behind him.
Doug Williams winds up in the seat of his pants again.
Michael Downs had 7 interceptions during the regular year, and that's the third pickoff against Doug Williams.
They have a stunt with Martin coming from the outside position up the middle. Gets in his face. He throws the ball without, again, being able to follow through. Tries to hit the tight end, Jimmy Giles. It's an errant pass picked up by the safety man, number 26. Michael Downs. And again, Dallas has great field position.
It's a rather poignant moment. Doug Williams talking to Jimmy Giles and Bill Nelson over to talk as well as to what went wrong on that last pass. Giles never turned around, and Michael Downs just moved in and picked it off easily. And what a bitter day for Doug Williams in Tampa Bay. He's now been intercepted 3 times, twice by Dennis Thurman, and this time by Michael Downs. So the Cowboys, who had 37 intercepts during the regular year to lead, show that they can still pick them off in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you have to give a lot of credit to Ed Jones, John Dutton, Randy White, and Harvey Martin. Boy, what a job they have done on defense. That front four is really dominating the line of scrimmage.
So it's first and 10 Cowboys on the Buccaneer 33. And there goes Dorsett outside a block by Donovan, and finally grabbed from behind by Woods at the 28-yard line. But it was Pat Donovan, who's a Pro Bowler, throwing the block that started. Meanwhile, Herbert Scott, another Pro Bowler, was shaken up on the play.
David Lewis is now playing the left linebacker position, number 57 for Hawkins. The guard trapped him that time, and he went inside and made yardage on the play of 6 yards.
So second and 4 at the 27. There are the Cowboy Pro Bowlers. Dorsett, Donovan, Jones, Scott, Septien, Walls, and White. James Jones now in there for Tony Dorsett. And Jones releases, and White throws to James Jones, and he's going to be finally brought down by Norris Thomas, but he needed help. Brad White, number 90, and Cecil Johnson, 56, had to come over to help out.
You see how quickly the linebackers and defensive backs got to the point of attack.
We mentioned the 7 Cowboys who are going to the Pro Bowl. Jimmy Giles and Leroy Selman heading that way for Tampa Bay. There's Leroy, along with Dave Stalls, the ex-Cowboy. We have 3:25 left in the third as they check for the first down, and you can see the nose of the football is in front of the chain and the stick. Meanwhile, Herbert Scott, who went down earlier, is over on the sidelines. They're taking care of him. Glenn Titans coming into play for the 7-year man out of Virginia Union. Everything coming up Cowboys ever since they took the opening kickoff and started from their own 20 and briskly moved down the field for a touchdown to make it 17-0. They were on another roll, but finally petered out, and they come right back on the Michael Downs interception. They have it first and 10 on the 23. In motion, Saldi, and of course that's the key for Springs. He follows Saldi's block inside the 20-yard line down to about the 18. And the Batman, Richard Wood, who of course was coached at USC by John McKay, making the tackle. Ron Springs from Ohio State.
You know, the great thing about the attack this afternoon, too, is the fact that both running backs have carried the ball 13 times apiece, which is what you'd like to have as far as balance is concerned. Most of the time in high formation, the tailback carries the ball, but they've been doing a great job of distributing the responsibility between the fullback and halfback, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
From the 19-yard line. In motion is Saldi again. This is the fake and a bootleg by White as he throws, and it is hit in the air, caught by Dupre anyway at the 5. Richard Wood hit the ball with his hand, and Dupre was right there to make the reception. And they'll spot the ball at the 5-yard line. And Billy Joe, everything is coming up Cowboys.
Here we see it again. Back to the left. The tight end comes around to the right side. Throws back Ritty into traffic. Dupre, number 89, gets the bouncing ball and makes the reception, takes it on down to the 5-yard line.
And of course, Richard Wood, furious that he could just deflect the ball into the hands of the big tight end. First and goal from the 5. Dorsett and Springs out of the eye. Second man, Tony Dorsett. See you later.
Well, they made it look easy the last 2 times they've had possession. But they've really kind of honed in on a good, solid, basic approach in the second half. They just ran the football, were very patient, threw the ball on occasions, but they just stuck it at the Tampa Bay defense, and they've done a remarkable job. Here it is.
Dorsett, his 9th playoff touchdown, Hank.
Look at the hole right up the middle. He pops through there and goes in for the touchdown. Beautiful blocking at the point of attack by Scott, Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Donovan.
So Septien, who's been letter perfect all year and again today, trying to make it 24-0 Dallas. Charlie Waters, the kick is perfect as usual. 24-0 in favor of the Cowboys. For Dorsett, 9 touchdowns in 11 postseason games. Harris had 17, and Biletnikoff and Zonka 10. Swan has 9. So the Cowboys win 33 yards in 5 plays following the interception by Michael Downs. Tony Dorsett driving over from 5 yards out. And it's pretty much of a runaway right now. 24-0 Dallas as Septien kicks off. 1:28 left in the 3rd. Squinting in the sun is James Owens, and he's going to take it out. And not go far. He's lucky to get out to the 15 and then squirts through the pack and backs across the 30-yard line. So James Owens does a great job, basically on his own, of fighting that one back for UCLA.
Well, that was great effort on the part of James Owens. It looked like he was stuffed, and he came out of the pile and picked up another big chunky yardage on the play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 31-yard line. Williams is 4 for 18 for 58 yards, but he's been intercepted 3 times and harried all day. Williams looking to the right side. To pass, and it is knocked up in the air, recovered by Ed Jones. It was hit by John Dutton, and Ed Jones snared it, and the Cowboys are in business again.
We talked about that earlier, and it's tough to throw against a guy that's 6'9", too tall Jones, and John Dutton, who is 6'7". Very difficult. He's trying to throw to his right that time. A comparatively short drop. You have to get very deep if you're going to do that. Dutton deflects the ball. Too tall Jones reacts terrifically well, makes the catch, and the Dallas Cowboys have good field position again on the +25, 1st and 10.
So that's a 4th interception, 2 by Dennis Thurman, 1 by Michael Downs, and now that deflection picked off by Ed Jones. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneer 25-yard line. And here goes Dorsett. 15-10, 5-yard line, and John Holt pushes him out of bounds. Holt, who went to school at West Texas State, had to do something down here, and he just did stop him. I'll tell you one thing, I can see the headline now in certain papers all across the country. The buck stops here.
Well, listen, this run is great. Again, from the I formation, he hits right straight up the middle. From the I, breaks outside. He's got such great speed. By the time anybody catches him, finally Hope, number 21, knocks him out of bounds. But he's got such great speed. Here's a good picture of Too Tall Jones, who has really done a remarkable job this afternoon.
1st and goal from the 4 for the Cowboys, leading 24-0. Second man, Dorsett, but he is stymied. Hugh Green, number 53, hit him low. Leroy Selman came up to make sure he wasn't going anywhere. Dorsett has carried 16 times, but look at the turnovers. 4 interceptions.
Yeah, that's murder. 4 for Tampa, 0 for Dallas, and that tells the story.
Dorsett going out to take a breather. His biggest day this year, he rushed for 175 yards against Baltimore and carried 30 times. Today, he has carried 16 times for 86 yards and 1 touchdown. Tony Dorsett. So second and goal from the 5. Springs and Jones, and it'll be James Jones. He's gone for the Widowmaker.
Boy, did they get off the ball that time. He flew into the end zone. Nobody laid a hand on him. Good blocking again by the left side. Herb Scott, Pat Donovan. Watch him fly into the end zone for the touchdown. Look at Selman, number 63. They blocked him. Look at the big hole. Big, beautiful hole. Dave Stalls is trying to come in from the backside. Cedric Brown, but by the time he gets there, it's too late. It's the bye-bye Blues. He's in there for the touchdown.
And, of course, now the Cowboys are just about out of sight with 15 seconds left as you look at James Jones. 30-0. And although everybody thought Dallas should be favored playing at home, I don't think anybody thought they were going to just tear these to pieces.
No, I really didn't. I thought really it was going to be a much better game than it's been.
You know, I understand that the Cowboys were actually chafing at the bit from inactivity. And at team meetings, at one time, Randy White just got up in the middle of the team meeting and knocked a partition down. And somebody said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I don't know, but I'm just dying to hit somebody."
Well, they really haven't had a significant game in 3 weeks, and they've been off for 2 weeks, and they lost the games to the New York Giants. They didn't feel too good about that either. But on the other side of the football, Ben, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the same situation. They practiced for 2 weeks. They didn't even wear pads at all for a 2-week period. They were chomping at the bit, they said, eager to play, eager to hit somebody. So, you know, how do you know?
The question now, of course, the Giants will be at Candlestick Park in the soup against the 49ers. The Giants, of course, with Rob Carpenter's running and their good defense, I would guess that a sloppy track would favor them slightly anyway.
Yes, and the way they're playing defensively, and they're getting the most out of their people. They're not putting pressure on their offensive team by asking them in to do something they can't do. They're doing what they can do very, very well, which is a great job on the part of Perkins. But I think that would be in favor of their football team in the slop tomorrow in San Francisco.
James Owens not going to bother to run it out, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20. Don't forget, starting next Sunday, and it certainly looks like Dallas is going to be in that game against either San Francisco or New York. If San Francisco wins, Dallas would go to Candlestick Park. If the Giants upset San Francisco, then the Giants would come here. So that's a championship game next Sunday, all leading up to January 24th and Super Bowl 16 from Pontiac, beginning at 2:30 Eastern Time. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 Buccaneers at the 20. Williams going over to the left side, and that's almost picked off by Mike Hegman. He just couldn't hold on to it and make it now Guy Brown, who is in there, 59 instead of 58. So Guy Brown, who just came into the game 5 years from Houston, and he almost got a piece of it.
Well, I tell you, it's murder when you have to throw against the Dallas Cowboys. They know you have to get back into the game with a throwing game. They're going to flop those ears back and really come after you, and it's very, very difficult. They play with 6 defensive backs. You've got to be a Houdini to get the ball through there and make receptions.
So John McKay seeing his bubble burst here in Dallas. 31-0 Cowboys, 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. And Williams just got away from Ed Jones, throwing incomplete. And Theo Bell had a lot of company. He had Downs and Brunig and Barnes, and he was the intended receiver. And for Tom Landry, he's just 15 minutes away because that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Dallas 31, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers nothing. We'll be back with the start of the 4th quarter after this word from your local station. No, Dallas leading 31-0. There was concern because Ed Jones went down on the previous play, and here's how it happened.
Here we see him rushing on Charlie Hanna, number 73. He spins out, goes to the outside. Hanna gives him a shove, but watch him hit. I think he hits White. Randy White, number 54, in the process of falling down, and that's what created the problem.
So 3rd and 10 on the Buccaneer 20-yard line. And Williams going to try and get a big bite, and he's got his tight end, Jimmy Giles, and Giles is to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He fought Dennis Thurman for the last 20 yards, and he gave Thurman a pretty good lick and finally went down at the 5-yard line, and he was wrestled down at the last moment after that battle with Thurman. You talk about hand-to-hand. Ron Fellows finally came in to deck him.
And they had a blitz on that time. Watch Dickerson coming in, number 51, and that time Williams had time to throw the ball, stepped up beautifully, delivered the ball right on the money to Jimmy Giles, who was really a great, and that's the first reception of the contest for him. And he came into the game talking about Jimmy Giles with 45 catches.
That's a 75-yard pass play. You know, they had an 84-yard play to House against Detroit, 81-yard play against the Bears with Jimmy Giles, 77 against Oakland with House, 71 against Atlanta with House, now 75 yards to the 5-yard line to Jimmy Giles. Wilder and Eckwood are the running backs. Meanwhile, there's Ed Jones, and of course that would be tremendous concern if they could lose this big man for next week's battle.
And he has the indication is that he's got a bruised knee, and he could come back if he had to, but I doubt very much if he will. Hopefully it's nothing serious, and he'll be able to play next week against whoever is going to be involved in the game.
Jones on a wing on the left side. That's Gordon Jones, just outside of Obradovic. And now Jones is in motion. Williams flipping back to Jerry Eckwood, and he's devoured. Bethea and Martin and Dutton and Charlie Waters. There are the plays we told you about. 84 against Detroit, 81 against the Bears, 77 against Oakland, 71 against Atlanta. And a 75-yard play today, but they're down 31-0. It's small consolation. Second and goal from the 8. Williams looking right, being chased by White and Martin drops him at about the 18. Boy, have they put on a show.
Yeah, that front four of the Dallas Cowboys, they've really been murdered this afternoon. And I can't tell what happened, whether that was a play designed to be moved to the right side, a rollout, or whether he just did it on his own. But if the linemen are not aware of what he's going to do back there, it's very, very difficult to block for him. He's got trouble inside. He's got a slow leak by White inside, but in the process of trying to break away, Martin from the right side comes in on Sanders and makes the kill.
Martin, 4 times a Pro Bowler. He was a co-MVP in the '77 Super Bowl with Randy White. He was the National Football League Defensive Player of the Year in '77. Boy, he's playing today like it's '77. And Doug Williams comes to the sidelines to take a respite with 12:50 left in the game, 31-0 Dallas. And it is third and goal on the Dallas 17-yard line. The Cowboys leading 31-0, and Doug Williams trying to get the Buccaneers at least on the scoreboard.
Safety blitz.
He goes left and completes it to the 10-yard line. Theo Bell making the reception, and he's dropped by Ron Fellows just inside the 10.
He had everybody coming. There you see number 32, Thurman, blitzing on the play. He read it beautifully, got the ball to the outside to Theo Bell, makes a catch, and is now on about the 10-yard line.
Ray Snell coming out, George Yarno taking over up front for Tampa Bay. Fourth and goal from the 9. Remember, they had first and goal from the 5 on that 75-yard pass to Jimmy Giles. Williams in trouble. Dickerson almost get him, and he has the ball thrown out of the end zone. Anthony Dickerson, number 51, 2 years out of SMU. Boy, was he ever in hot pursuit of Doug Williams.
Boy, was he flying in there that time. It looked like he was in their huddle the way he got a jump and anticipated the snap count. That's one other thing that's very important in a game like this one. Boy, you better not go in the same count all the time, because if they get the rhythm defensively, It's tough enough to throw the ball when they know you're going to throw it, and if they know the snap count too, boy, it's really murder.
And the Cowboys ecstatic. Meanwhile, the frustration at Tampa Bay is really summed up. They have a 1st and goal on the 5, and they wind up on the 10, giving the ball back to Dallas. 31-0 Cowboys. With 12 minutes and 1 second left in this ball game, Dallas sitting on top of a 31-0 lead over Tampa Bay. So the Buccaneers have about 12 minutes left of their 1982 season. Meanwhile, Leroy Selman giving it his best shot, even though the Buccaneers now have slipped hopelessly behind.
The run left in this formation.
1st and 10, and there goes James Jones bumping into Kurt Peterson, and that slowed it down. Peterson, the kid who played defensive line from Missouri and was converted and has done an excellent job. In fact, people down here talking about the great change in the Cowboy offensive line. Change of Rafferty going to center with Shaw and Fitzgerald out.
You know, talking about offensive lines, Ben, I talked to John McKay yesterday, and that was one of the things he said was very significant as far as his team is concerned. He felt the development and growth of the offensive line was really the difference in why they were in the playoffs, and yet, ironically, today, they really had a tough time blocking the defensive front four of the Dallas Cowboys.
2nd and 9 from the 11. Jay Saldy in motion, and they'll go the other way, and James Jones trying to cut back, and he maybe picks up a yard. Going back to the record books a little bit, with Tampa Bay being blank so far, in the 1978 NFC Championship game in Los Angeles, Dallas shut out the Rams 28-0. Ironic to mention the Rams today as you look at Doug Williams, a tired, weary, and somewhat disconsolate young quarterback. And for John McKay, the shades are down as Bill Nelson, who quarterbacked for him at USC, and not much you can do at this stage.
About doing things for people. Got to talk about Maurice Spencer, who's done a great job for us here this afternoon in the booth to help us with this game.
Right, 3rd and 8 from the 12. White going to James Jones. It's a good fake on Cecil Johnson. It's past the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Finally, Mike Washington brought him down. But Cecil the Diesel came over, and Jones really faked him right out of the machinery.
There he goes, White into the pocket, throwing outside to Jones, number 23, and that's what you want. You try to get him on a linebacker or defensive back one-on-one. It's very, very difficult to tackle him. They do not do a good job, and for that reason, he gets a good chunk on the play.
Well, that brings it out to the 23 of Dallas. Mike Washington shaken up on the play, but he's staying in there. He's the one that John McKay calls bones because of all of his injuries, and he's got a bad shoulder. Second man, that's James Jones, and he's out across the 30-yard line, hit by Washington and Johnson.
That's that counter play again, faking one way, going back the other way. Pat Donovan, number 67, the left tackle was pulling on the play, meaning he was pulling from the left tackle position all the way over to the right side. They're doing a good job of selling the linebackers on their fact that they might go one way, and they come back against the grain, they take a counter step, and made a nice gain on the play.
Doug Donnelly and Butch Johnson now in the game. Johnson goes right, and Donnelly goes left. Donnelly is really a flyer out of Ohio State. Keep an eye on him. He was a number 2 draft choice for the Cowboys this year. There goes Ron Springs. Driven out of bounds by John Holt. Hugh Green was running along just in case. So the Cowboys are going to do it again. 16th consecutive winning season. 15th time in the playoffs. They're going to have a record of 18-12. And it goes on and on. They will have won 18 straight at home since they lost the playoff here to the Rams. And, of course, Tom Landry and company had won 18 regular season games in a row since they lost to Houston on Thanksgiving Day. They'll be 9-2 in divisional playoffs since 1970. The mark of success, the Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 39. Lenny White going to the right side, and he's got his man, Doug Donnelly, and Norris Thomas pushes him out. Donnelly, they tell us, runs the 60 meters in a 6-1. He was also timed in a 100-yard dash at 9-4. So when they send this fella, he can fly.
Yeah, it was man-for-man coverage. They have an outside blitz that time, a play-action fake, and as deep as the defensive backs play, we talked about that earlier, number 41, Norris Thomas, was very deep. on the play. You have to be able to throw in front if you have time to throw it. They had time, and they got the completion very easily on the play.
Coming into the ballgame for the first time today, Robert Newhouse. Ron Springs comes out to catch his breath. So you have Newhouse and Jones. Johnson goes from the left side. Saldi is outside to play, and now he's in motion. And Newhouse to the 40, driving to the 39. The Robert Newhouse, 10 years out of Houston.
He's got a great attitude. I was able to watch him, talk to him at practice the other day. Here again, Saldi coming in motion and helping out on the linebacker inside. There you see him blocking Johnson. And Robert goes right through there, number 44. He's a strong runner, very determined runner, pops through there and picks up a nice gain on the play. But talking to him yesterday, he indicated, he said, Coach, it's been a long layoff of 2 weeks. We've looked at a lot of films, and we're tired of doing what we're doing, but we're ready to play, and we're going to play good. So,
boy, were they ready to play. 2nd and 3 from the 40-yard line. Second man is James Jones, and he is hit just about at the line of scrimmage. He might have gone a yard. For Danny White and Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys, there will be a next week and another game on the way to Super Bowl 16. McCray and Saldi coming in. But for Tampa Bay, there are 7 minutes and 46 seconds left in their season.
you have to compliment. I know John and the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team and the fans are very disappointed, but you have to be pretty pleased with the fact that they have won 2 championships out of the 6 years they've been in existence. They're a good organization. Mr. Culverhouse is one of the great owners of the National Football League, I think. And they're going to continue to grow and prosper and be a good football team.
That's James Jones to the 29-yard line. And there's a fight, meanwhile, back at about the 43-yard line. And, of course, it's the end of a long day and a long season. And tempers figurative player.
It's a frustration.
Flag on the play.
Frustration fight.
Oh, I know. Jay Saldi was mixing it up. Cecil Johnson lost his helmet, and he's the one who's hot. And Danny White trying to console Johnson and giving him his helmet. Let's take a look. We'll show you what happened, what caused all this.
Here we go, the surge off the line of scrimmage. A guard pulling, Saldi blocking on the play. Saldi blocking Johnson. Knocks him down finally. He jumps on top of him, knocks the helmet off, and they engage in a little wrestling match. You ought to have Ernie Ladd here to officiate this wrestling contest. Ernie Ladd, of course, being a great defensive tackle, he used to play for San Diego and play for us. 6'9", 325.
87 on the offense was the number, 87.
So Saldi is guilty of the infraction. Johnson is 6'2", 235. Saldi is 6'3", 223, so it was a fairly even match. But I think Cecil the Diesel was a little surprised, not only that Saldi came at him, but that Saldi never quit, and then went after him on the ground. There's Jay, 6 years out of South Carolina. 7:18 left. The ball is on the Buccaneer 30-yard line.
You know, talking about fights back in Kansas City, we used to have a bag of boxing gloves on the field. We used to have a couple of very emotional players. Jerry Mays, who was a great defensive end, and John Gillum, who was an offensive center. Both were very enthusiastic, and we'd get involved in more fights. When the fight started, I would just get the squad in a big circle. We'd get the big boxing gloves on and let them go after it for about 2 minutes, and they'd get tired in a hurry.
And with 7:18 left, the Cowboys weren't tired enough to do a lot of handshaking on the sidelines with Herbert Scott, Pat Donovan, and Tony Dorsett highly visible. And moving and off is Campbell. Meanwhile, James Jones falling on the ball at about the 34-yard line, but I'm pretty sure they're going to lay the body in the doorstep of Joe Campbell. He was originally drafted by New Orleans in '77. You know Joe.
Yes, sir. Joseph was drafted at number 1 in 1977. Played his collegiate football at Maryland and left Kansas City, went to Oakland, got a ring there last year, and came right here and wound up for the playoffs. Not bad.
Offside, number 79, defense, first down.
Well, Joe, anyway, you got your name mentioned.
That's right.
There's Jay Saldi without the glasses, but with the beard and sweatband. Calm and cool after that brief tussle with Cecil Johnson.
It looks like he's still a little upset.
That'll cool him off. So 1st and 5 at the 25. It's 31-0 Cowboys. They're staying on the ground. James Jones getting away from David Lewis, chased by Norris Thomas, and Thomas can't get him, and he finally fights his way to the 20. John Hope, number 21, and Scott Manley finally hit him and brought him down, and Norris Thomas a little exhausted as he's on his back at the 25-yard line.
Kind of a ring around the rosy run, but Norris Thomas really showed great determination. He stayed after him to the very end, and he was on the left side, chased him all the way over on the right side, which is great effort on the part of Norris Thomas, number 41, the left cornerback.
So 2nd and 1 on the Buccaneer 21. Tom Landry, in his great career, 196 wins. Hallis had 320, Lambeau 231, and Shula 194 in the regular season.
You know, the great thing about Tom, he's always the same. Never changes. Win, lose, or draw. He's always the same guy, which you admire him for.
Flag on the play as Brantley brings down Dupre. We'll wait for the interpretation. Holding, as you can see, against Dallas. 6 minutes and 21 seconds to the end of the ball game. It started off hard-nosed. The Cowboys eventually scored on a 9-yard pass to Tony Hill. They added a field goal by Septien to lead 10-0.
Holding, number 65, offense, 2nd down.
Looking across the field, we see some great names in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Mel Renfro, Chuck Howley, Don Meredith, Bob Lilly, Don Perkins. And talking about Hall of Fame, E.J. Hollop, our great player, was initiated into the Hall of Fame, the Texas Hall of Fame, over the weekend, which we were very proud of.
With the score 31-0 Dallas, you'd think they were still playing. Jones and Newhouse releases, and White's going to go deep in the end zone to Butch Johnson, no good. He was bumped by Cedric Brown, I believe, and I think they're going to call it. Yep.
Yeah, he was bumped.
Sure will.
5 defensive back. He was bumped. There was contact where the ball was in flight. It's pass interference. Good call on the part of the official.
For Cedric Brown, who had picked off 9 interceptions this year.
Pass interference, number 34, defense, 1st down.
So it's 1st and goal at the 1 since the penalty was in the end zone.
Here you see it. And he's not doing it intentionally, but there is bumping, there's contact. He's feeling for him with his right arm, it looks like, with his right hand. Good call on the part of the official. Great picture by Tony Verna again on the play.
So a dispirited Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, down 31-0, taking on a lot of water, and the skipper knows that it's all over. And now the Cowboys just trying to push it over with 6:15 left. Jones and Newhouse behind Danny White. Crosby, the tight end, on the left side, and Dupre on the right. Crosby in motion, and it is Newhouse trying to butt his way in, and he couldn't quite get there.
Well, it's amazing. You know that play's coming. Saldi goes in motion this time from the left side. It isn't Crosby. It's, yeah, it is. 84. Crosby coming in motion that time. Same play. Good blocking. Look at Newhouse and look at Dupre. Number 89 also blocking Wood on the play.
And Robert Newhouse coming out to the plaudits of the crowd. Timmy Newsome taking over for him. For 10 years, he's been battling for Dallas. Of course, I wonder how D.D. Lewis feels and Charlie Waters, because they have both announced that they would retire. And it looks like they'll play at least one more. And there goes Timmy Newsome. 2 years out of Winston-Salem State. And of course, it now makes it 37-0 Dallas. An overwhelming Cowboy victory against a very tough Tampa Bay defense. Or at least it was coming into this game.
Yeah, it really was. The Cowboys have really done a number on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially in the second half. Really, this has been a contest, a no-contest situation, because really Tampa's never really had a chance to get back into this football game, or was never in it from the very beginning.
So 37-0 in favor of Dallas, 5:27 left. And Septien will try to kick it through again with a hole by Charlie Waters. The hold and the kick, it is good. So an overwhelming Dallas 38-0 lead, but with a flag on the play. We'll watch Jerry Mark right. It's good.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field.
minutes and 27 seconds left in the ball game. It is 38-0 Dallas. A complete runaway for the Cowboys. Very unexpected. And of course, Tampa Bay shocked and beaten now in the waning minutes as Rafael Septien will be kicking from the 40. Remember, the 12th man on the field for Tampa Bay, so instead of from the 35, he'll kick from the 40. Holden Owens deep for Tampa Bay, and it'll be John Holt, who went to school in Texas, and he'll take it out. Faking to Owens and keeps going to the 10, to the 20, to the 25, and finally taken down at the 30-yard line. And the man who hit him was Spradlin, number 55. 11 years ago, a third-round draft choice by the name of Charlie Waters came out of Clemson and came to Dallas to play for the Cowboys. And now the pride of Clemson says he's going to call it a career. In fact, this is what he said about it.
I have thought about this a lot this week, that this might be my last game, and I'm going to try to make every tackle and knock down every pass because of that. But you only do what you can do. You know, I'm going to go out and try to play and try to win and prepare like I've always prepared in the past and hope we can move on to the next stage. But if Tampa Bay beats us, then, you know, rest in peace.
By the way, Charlie Waters was recently inducted into the Clemson Hall of Fame.
And he'll rest in peace tonight, won't he, after this contest? And, you know, talking to him at practice the other day, you know, it's amazing to look at the tape and the wrapping he's got around that right leg. And when he finally got it all unraveled, I looked at that knee, and I just couldn't believe that he's able to play as well as he plays. It's discolored. It looks like it's in bad shape, but he's got a great heart and has done a remarkable job under adverse conditions as far as that leg is concerned.
You know, Charlie Waters and Bill Simpson are tied with 9 playoff interceptions, and John Holt, meanwhile, is hurt and coming off the field for Tampa Bay. So John Holt, who gave it his best shot all day, the rookie out of West Texas State, and he was hurt on the return. Charlie Waters playing in his 24th playoff game. So, of course, by playing next week, it will mean that D.D. Lewis will hold the record. He has played in 26, counting today. That ties him with Larry Cole. So next week, D.D. Lewis, number 50, will stand alone. Williams has not been standing alone too much. That's out of Wilder's hand, picked up by Harvey Martin. Right through Wilder's hands and into Martin's hands. You can't believe what's happening, but they're going to rule it, no good.
And they rule it incomplete.
Right. Second and 10 with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left.
Well, you talk about when it rains, it pours. What an illustration of that this afternoon as far as Tampa Bay. I would think possibly we'll see Carano come in the next time the Dallas Cowboys have possession. I would sure think so.
Second and 10 from the 30. 38-0 Dallas. 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. In motion, Jimmy Giles was connected to the biggest Tampa Bay play of the day. And that's complete at the 40, and driving ahead Wilder goes out to about the 44, and we'll see who's spotted at about the 41. With Spradlin and Hegman making the stop. Spradlin, number 55, is a rookie. They call him Spur. He played football at Tennessee. He's in there, so they're resting, among other people, Bob Brunig and D.D. Lewis.
The amazing thing about this offense of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Wilder came in with 48 catches, the tight end with 45, and they haven't been able to do much here this afternoon at all.
James Owens gets across the 40, and Anthony Dickerson is right there to bring him down as he rolls out of bounds. Doug Williams today has completed 8 for 27 for 155 yards, but remember, 75 yards on one pass to Jim Giles. And he has been intercepted 4 times and sacked a couple of times, guilty of intentionally grounding the ball. A memorable day for him in some respect. Second and 7 from the 44. And that's to Giles. And Giles at the 35, and Benny Barnes gets him from behind and drags him down at about the 33-yard line. And coming up again is the rookie Everson Walls, number 24.
You know, his tempo of the game has changed totally, and he's not getting nearly as much pressure. But here's a great illustration of the way this kid can throw when he has time to throw. He just has not had time to throw. People, again, must realize that because the completion record is like it is, it's certainly not his fault. He has to have pass protection. He hasn't had it here this afternoon, and when he has had it, he's thrown the ball pretty well.
Tony Davis is now in the backfield along with Wilder. And Davis staying in the block. And Williams is going to be grabbed from behind, an ankle tackle, and it was Randy White.
That time they had an inside stunt, Ben, which means that, you know, you just change positions with a defensive tackle or defensive end. He goes first, you go second, or vice versa. Randy White was in that kind of a stunt. That was able to leak through that time and make the tackle on Doug Williams.
Don't forget, at the end of the ball game with Brandon Irv and Phyllis, along with Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, we might have an interview or two with some of the participants in this one. So stay right with us. With 3:15 left, 38-0 Dallas. And of course the Buccaneers, remember, had a first and goal from the 5 and came up empty. And now a delay of game against Tampa Bay for a 5-yard penalty. Back to the 42.
Delay of game, number 12, offense, second down.
Go to second and 19 on the Dallas 42.
Well, when your big guns catch only one, Kevin House has only caught one ball for 10 yards. Giles has only caught 2, and Wilder has caught 1. And they came into the game with the reputation of being the top receivers. Boy, it's tough when you get shut down like that.
And the Cowboys are after him again, and Larry Bethay got him at the 40-yard line. And Bethay, who is playing once in a while for Randy White, he came in there that time to hammer him back at the 40-yard line. There's Big Larry at 6'5", 254. He was a first-round draft choice in 1978. .253 left, and I'm sure at this stage Tampa Bay can't wait.
They're ready to look for the bus.
Yeah, they gave it their best shot, but there's no doubt the better team has won this ball on this particular day. Huh?
Yeah, that's what it's always all about.
So it's 3rd and 36 on the 41. And now flags, and let's see. Were they drawn off?
False start, offense.
Yep. Well, I was going to say their worst situation and down yardage was back in the first half. They had a 3rd and 38.
Number 61,
and
offense,
they have topped that.
3rd down.
Now they have a 3rd and 41. Well, you didn't have a play 3rd and 38, so I guess you don't have a play 3rd and 41.
No, you don't have those kind of plays in your playbook.
3rd and 41. And the 36. Martin trying to get at him, but he throws a little screen to James Owens at the 40. Bumping into his own people, and Anthony Dickerson can't hold him. Everson Walls can't, so Randy White says, okay, I'll take it. And White brings him down.
There's a great illustration of the frustration of the runner trying to get upfield and get the most out of the play as he possibly could. He had linemen out in front, but he ran ahead of the lineman, did not provide them with an opportunity to block for him, and so for that reason the play did not develop very well at all. But I think, again, it's an illustration of the frustration involved in the ball carrier trying to make something happen.
And we have come down to the 2-minute warning here at Irving, Texas. Dallas 38, Tampa Bay nothing. The Dallas Cowboys, virtually unbeatable at home, continue to beat the drum, leading 38-0. In fact, the only other team to go undefeated at home this year were the Denver Broncos. Larry Swider is standing on the Tampa Bay 30. And Swider kicking to the deep man, James Jones, at the Dallas 10-yard line. And instead, the snap goes to Davis. Davis can't handle it, and grabbing and swallowing up Swider is Billy Joe Dupree, of all people. And Swider who had dropped a snap earlier, remember, and punted for 22. That snap went to Tony Davis. Take a look.
Yeah.
It's Davis, the fullback.
It looked like, you know, that was a catchable snap. It was a little bit to his left, but it looked like he took his eye off the ball, obviously. In his haste to try to run to the outside, he was looking where he was going to run. Instead of making the catch first, doing first things first, following an orderly process, he did not do that, and for that reason, fumble the ball. Dallas had good field position again on the plus 33.
A minute 56 left in the game. Dallas leading Tampa Bay 38-0. You know, on that snap to Tony Davis, you might be interested how many times Tony Davis handled the ball rushing this year. Twice.
Well, that might be the reason he dropped the ball. He's not used to handling it very often.
So 1st and 10 on the Tampa Bay 32. Butch Johnson goes wide left. Doug Donnelly goes wide right, and Glenn Carano is the quarterback. With Jones and Newhouse, and there goes Robert Newhouse, grabbed by Richard Wood at about the 29-yard line. Glenn Carano, number 18, finishing up for Danny White. He's a 5-year veteran out of Nevada of Las Vegas. Number 2 draft choice in '77. That was the same year that involved the big draft of the 2 big stars, Tony Dorsett, Ricky Bell. And of course, Dorsett, the Heisman Award winner. Bell came in number 2, and there's Tex Schramm sitting quietly and calmly watching the Dallas Cowboys take Tampa Bay apart today. 2nd and 7. James Jones going down at about the 33-yard line. Brad White, number 90. And Norris Thomas, number 41, bring them down.
You know, John McKay made a funny remark. He never realized it was going to be appropriate the way the game was played here today, but I asked about his pulling guards and sending in plays with his 2 guards, Snell and Yarno. He said, yeah, we plan to do that. We hope somewhere along the line we can keep both of them in at the same time. We might need both of them on the same side to block those linemen, and he wasn't very far from wrong.
Well, there's a Cowboy on the field, but he's not in uniform, so that Cowboy is heading for the corral, feeling his oats.
Looks like he got shot right out of the saddle.
So 3rd and 11. For Tampa Bay, of course, growing up is very difficult, whether it's a human being or a professional football team, and they have done remarkably well after a painful start. You remember they lost their first 26, but in 6 years they've gotten to the playoffs twice, and that's quite an accomplishment. They came up against, however, the powerhouse Dallas Cowboys, and there goes Robert Newhouse. Newhouse to the 21-yard line. So it was 3rd and 11, and he got just about 12, enough for the first down.
Looks like this game is terminated, Ben.
Yes, that's about the best thing Tampa Bay can say about it. It is mercifully over, as Dallas absolutely overpowering, and particularly what a job defensively they did on Doug Williams and Tampa Bay, and then of course pushed the ball over for 38 points. Our executive producer, Terry O'Neill. Our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Our producer, Robert D. Stenner. And our director, and what a magnificent job he and the crew did today, Tony Vernon. We'd also like to thank Dr. Bob Woods for all his statistical help, and to Doug Adams up here in the booth. Well, Hank, there's really not much you can say. It was all Cowboys. And with that, we can sum it right up with our thanks to the rest of the crew and go to Brent Musburg.
Thank you so much, Vin Scully and Hank Stram. Nice job. Jimmy, it has mercifully ended for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But now I think without a doubt the Dallas Cowboys have stamped themselves as favorites to go on and win the Super Bowl.
Well, they're not quite the biggest favorite, because if they play San Francisco at San Francisco, it's still a close ball game, Brent.
What do you think the difference was in this game? You thought it was going to be close. You expected more out of Tampa than they delivered.
I definitely thought Dallas would get 24 points, but I thought that the other team...
You thought the Bucs would put up a better battle than they did
14
today.
points
but they might be able to score at least in that game.
They did. I mean, they just couldn't... Wasn't that defense awesome?
It sure was.
I mean, they were just awesome.
And we're going to go down inside the locker room because Irv Cross is standing by down there. We're going to talk to some of the players. We'll be back to hear more from the Greek as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. the doomsday quartet of the Dallas Cowboys. Weren't they something? Let's go down to Irv Cross, who's got that defensive line with him. Irv?
Brent, we're right across the hall from the Dallas Cowboys locker room, so you won't hear a lot of yelling and cheering down here, but obviously these 4 men are pretty happy. Of course, too tall, you had quite a day.
Thank you very much. You know, I finally got an interception after 8 years, thanks to John Dutton here.
Do you guys have a tip drill you work on?
Oh, yeah, every week.
All right. Harvey, you had a lot of success, too, putting heat on Doug Williams. He was sacked 4 times today. Most times this year he was sacked.
Doug Williams is an excellent quarterback. We felt he was underrated coming into the game. He's got a strong arm, and he's very mobile.
Well, everybody tries to handle you, Randy. What were they trying to do with you up front today? Double team as they always do?
Well, some of the time, and some of the time they were going over to John. But I tell you, all year we've worked together as a unit, and it's been a team effort all year. And, I think today exemplified that. We all played together well, and it was a good team effort. And as far as us up front, I think we played well together.
Played well indeed. Too tall, you had a great day against Hannah. How did you handle him so easily?
Well, I had 2 weeks to prepare for it, and I was just working at trying to figure out his strengths and weaknesses, and I saw his weaknesses, and I was able to capitalize on them.
Well, we thought that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would go into halftime and come out and adjust and try to shut you guys off, but you still put pressure on. What do they try to do to keep you on the line of scrimmage?
Well, we felt that if we could shut down the running game and force them into sure passing situation with the talent we have up front, then we can make a lot of good things happen, and we were able to shut the running game down. I think that was the key.
Well, one of the good things you had happen was number 79 knocking Doug Williams down. You're going to see it in a second here, Harvey. Another sack from you.
Well, it's something that we've been working on all year. John, Ed, and Randy, and myself, we all work with Ernie Stockton, who trains us very well, and we're just happy to be a group like we are.
All right, let's take a look at your sack.
Let's go.
All right. Number 79, Harvey Martin, putting your pressure on Doug Williams. Tell me about the play, Harvey.
Well, it was the tackle tried to cut me, and Doug was rolling to the right a whole lot today, and I was hoping he'd slow up so I could catch him from behind.
The game seemed to be a pretty hotly contested game, as it always is in the playoff series, particularly just before the half. There's some scuffling going on out there. Were tempers beginning to flare, Randy?
Well, there's a lot of emotion in the game. It's a do-or-die situation, and, tempers are going to get hot when things don't go exactly the way you want it. But I think, for the most part, it was a pretty clean game.
Well, John, late in the game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were driving. They're on the 5-yard line or so. It looked like that shutout was going to be wiped off the board. What was going on in the huddle when you guys lined up and saw they were threatening to score on you?
Well, we wanted a shutout, so we just came up, up to the line. We were positive we could stop them and everything. We just went out and did it. Had a big play on that. I think they were on the 3-yard line, and we just came across in a short yardage defense and made a big play.
All right. Any one of you or all 4 of you, who do you want to play next week?
It doesn't make any difference. We're going to get ready and we're going to show up.
All right. They'll get ready, and they'll show up no matter who it is. John Dutton, Too Tall Jones, Randy White, and, of course, Harvey Martin. Brent?
All right, Irv, thank you so much. Interestingly enough, the Cowboys have lost to both the teams that are still in the chase for the NFC Championship. They went into San Francisco earlier this year, and they turned in their worst performance of the season, so the Cowboys obviously have revenge in their hearts. Now, if San Francisco wins, the Cowboys would go up there. If the Giants, however, upset the 49ers, then they would come down into Dallas. Those 2 teams met twice this year. They split the 2 games. It was the last Saturday of the season when the Giants upset the Cowboys. So again, revenge would be a big motive down here in Big D. And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment. Before the game started, I was speaking to another general manager, and he said anytime you go into Dallas to play the Cowboys, you start trailing by 7. That's how much respect they have for Coach Tom Landry. Let's go down to Irv Cross, who's with the coach and the quarterback right now.
Brent, Coach Landry, of course, is happy about the victory, but he said he hasn't crossed the goal line yet. But in any case, Coach, 38-0. Did the game develop as you thought it would prior to coming into this game?
Well, obviously not, Irv. You never predict a game like this. I think that in playoffs, it's never a merit of the 2 teams. Tampa Bay is a good football team, but when you're in a sudden death game, if you can just get ahead a little bit at the right time, the game tends to look more lopsided than it was. But we did a lot of good things. This is our best team effort this year by far. Every part of our team played well.
What did you do at halftime to make adjustments in the third quarter? The Dallas offense simply exploded.
Well, we felt that the third quarter was a very important quarter, especially when we were getting the ball first. And we made a few adjustments, but not too many. We were still drawing from what we were doing the first half, but we seemed to do it better. We seemed to hit the right plays at the right time, which is a little luck in calling plays, too. And our guys ran well, and that touchdown drive was probably the key to the game.
38-0, a lopsided victory. Does your ball club come out of a game like this sort of overconfident and kind of cocky, and how do you keep them down to earth?
Well, they think back. Of course, the next team we play have both beat us. So I'm sure I'll have a little bit of ammunition working my way.
Well, part of the ammunition you have is your quarterback, Danny White, who threw a touchdown pass today. And Danny, all week long, reports are coming out of Dallas. You didn't feel so well. You had the flu. Apparently, you felt well enough to play well today.
Well, I felt fine going into the game today. It took its toll later on, and I felt a little weak throwing the ball and was not throwing the ball well early in the game. But I felt fine other than that, other than being a little bit weak. And, you know, earlier in the week it was tough, but I feel okay now.
What did you feel you had to do to get the offense rolling? You had 10-0 at halftime, and, you know, of course, the third quarter you opened it up.
Well, we needed to hit some short passes and open and spread out the linebackers a little bit. You know, open up some holes. Like Coach Landry said, we really didn't do anything that differently. The timing just seemed to come together. You know, the backs were running so hard, you know, Tony and Ron and everybody. And the third quarter, we knew coming out in the third quarter, it was the key to the game, and everybody put it together.
Danny, your touchdown pass was to Tony Hill. The timing certainly developed well on this one. We'll take a look at it right now. Here you go. Touchdown pass to Tony. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was frustrating because we had just barely missed on a couple just before this, and there was a nice hole in the seam, and Tony got on it. That's strictly a timing throw, and Tony made a great catch in traffic. Took a pretty good shot right after he caught the ball.
Danny, congratulations. Sit back and watch and see you play next week.
It's going to be a nice weekend. Thank you, Irv.
All right, Brent.
Hi, Irv. Thank you so much. And, of course, the two gentlemen who called the game, Vin Scully was working alongside Hank Stram, a man who knows what it is to go on and win a Super Bowl. He has a great deal of respect for Coach Landry and the Cowboy organization. Let's go back now to Vin and Hank.
Hank, I was just wondering about the tremendous letdown for John McKay, first of all. It's a tough ride home, but more than that, what can you say? He thought they'd play well, and they were completely blown out in the third quarter.
You know, you can never tell what's going to happen on a one-game basis. If you played 4 games, maybe 4 out of 7, you'd have a better feeling of what the two teams would do. But on a one-game basis, you never know what's going to happen. And as Tom mentioned, I think usually, you know, the team that scores first, I think we talked about that earlier, in the game, 75% of the time that team usually wins. And in this game today, it was just, you know, it was just one of those blowouts. That's all you can say about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers never had field position in the first half. The Dallas Cowboys had many, many opportunities. It's a wonder they didn't score more points than they did, especially in the first half.
And, of course, for Dallas, if they do go on the road to San Francisco, the statistic that was in their favor today will go definitely against them. Remember, since the merger, the road team has won only 35% of the games.
Well, the way they win, I don't think they're going to worry about that too much.
No, I don't think so either. Let's go back to Brent.
All right, Benny, thank you so much. Jimmy, what about the San Francisco game tomorrow? The 49ers, the home team, Vin has gave that statistic. Does that give them a big edge on the Giants?
Well, it gives them an edge for being at home, but I'll tell you, the Giants are improving with every game, and that field's going to be muddy, and a bad break can make it a winner or loser for either side. It's going to be very close, Brent.
Toss-up. I'll find out from you tomorrow in San Francisco. The NFL Today continues here on CBS in just a moment. Statistics aside, there is a big reason why the Dallas Cowboys want to play, and it's not just because they're at home. Tony Dorsett is much better on dry, artificial surfaces than he would be on a quagmire that could be the field in San Francisco. Irv Cross has TD down in the Cowboy locker room. Let's go to Irv now.
Brent, great point. The last time Tony Dorsett played in San Francisco, you carried for 21 yards. Make any difference to you whether they play on natural surface or artificial surface?
It doesn't make a difference. You know, we went out to San Francisco and we got out there, Irv, and we just had a bad day. It was one of those games that if we did this or if we did that, we could have won. We just didn't play good, and they contain us pretty good. But either team we play, it's going to be a little vindictive, I think.
All right, let's talk about the good day. You had a good day this afternoon, and you had a long run in the third quarter to get that offense going.
Well, you know, we came out the first half. I think the week layoff, we just spread it around a little bit. And this play here is just a count of 45. I went down and picked up some blocking by Tony Hill, and I thought I could get by that defender there and get to the end zone, but I took a pretty good lick there. They're a very physical team, and we took advantage of that at times.
Do you find that because you carry the ball so much and you're so effective that you are a marked man?
Well, without a doubt, when you have the year that we've had offensively and the production that I've had, then you become a marked man. It's obvious.
Thanks, Tony. Good luck to you. Dennis Thurman, you picked off 2 today. The secondary, all total, 4 interceptions. And, of course, Doug Williams hadn't thrown that many all year in one game.
Well, we got good pressure today from our front four, and it just seemed like everything that they did today, you know, they forced him out of the pocket, they forced him to throw the ball when he didn't want to, and that's what makes interceptions. So we were fortunate enough that, you know, we could get him.
All right, they got him today. Who knows? New York or San Francisco next, eh? Brent?
All right, Irv, thank you so much. Jimmy, briefly AFC, Miami, San Diego.
Well, it's Shula against Coryell, but there's Woodley against Fouts. I'll take Fouts to outscore Miami.
All right, now tomorrow, Buffalo goes into Cincinnati.
Buffalo's been on the road for 5 consecutive weeks. Cincinnati must win it.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern Time for the NFL today, and then it'll be the San Francisco Giants and the New York Giants. I have always wanted to go to the city by the bay for a playoff game, and here we come. For all of us at CBS Sports, I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL today on CBS.
This is CBS.